Wake up, mama, we gotta help people with their design drama. Welcome back to another episode of Laugh Cry DIY. I am Katie, this is Baguette, and both of us recently asked my viewers to send in their design drama. You know, those spaces in your house that you just can't figure out what to do with, that random wall, that one corner. So I asked you to send me your drama, and Baguette chose 3 of you to transform your space virtually today. So I am very excited to start and solve some design drama. So let's get into it. So first up, we are starting with Jade. Jade has this cute little sewing nook in her new apartment, and her style is very mid-century, bohemian, eclectic, maximalist. But like many of us, she's really struggling to make this space cute and stylish and organized and functional. She's using this sewing nook to create and design her own line of handbags, which is very cool. And because of that, she really needs a space to have all of her like notions and sewing things handy. Now the big challenge here is that 1, she can't paint, and 2, she can't put any holes in the wall. Why, God, why? This is because she lives in a historic building. I'm guessing that the walls are made of plaster and lath. I myself lived in a building like this for years. I couldn't hang anything on the wall, and the toll it took on me emotionally and physically is something I'm still working through today in therapy. But because of that, I do have some hacks to make this space more functional and still make it kind of a vibe for under the $1,000 she's willing to spend. So let's start with a blank slate. We are actually going to swap the desk. Her current orientation is set up with her stool tucked behind the desk with her back to the wall. I'm gonna flip it. We're gonna tuck in this white IKEA desk, which also comes with an attached Alex unit. And I super love IKEA when it comes to desks. You can go on their site. They have so many different versions, mix and match. You can get this unit as it is, or you can get a different unit and just tuck an Alex unit under it. And I love the Alex unit because when you pull it out, it can actually add a little bit of extra kind of table space if you need it. Full disclosure, this does mean that the bolts of fabric she has standing up will need to be moved somewhere else, or possibly like stacked on the floor underneath the desk. It's just a sacrifice I have to make to give you the functional design you need. Next up is gonna be your biggest expense, which is a beautiful desk chair. Desk chairs are very ugly, and if they're ergonomic, they're usually very pricey. So that's why I'm just gonna tell you, blow most of your budget on whatever beautiful desk chair you like. I chose this one because it's simple and clean. I like the wood detail that kind of fits your mid-century style, but you could also choose something colorful or a pop of pattern, depending on whatever works for you. Now we need to optimize for storage. Obviously, when you're in a small space, you want to go vertical with your storage, and I considered adding something like a standing tabletop hutch to the desk, but honestly, I know that you need the table space to work. It can very quickly feel cluttered if you have something kind of like above or over your head, and I wanted to maximize kind of space and airiness if we could. And obviously there are many more things you kind of want out in the open for easy reaching. So I am gonna add a little tabletop thread storage stand if you need it. Now, hanging shelves is a pain if you can't put holes in the wall, but fortunately they have an incredible amount of command strip storage solutions now. So I'm gonna suggest adding a row of these little 12-inch command hook shelves. These are like peel and stick, you put them on the wall, they hold up to 7 pounds each, and the big note here is to follow the manufacturer's directions exactly so that you make sure you have the strongest hold. Once you have those up, you can add all the notions you want and maybe add a plant or 2 for like fun vibes. Now I know you may have some larger or kind of oddly shaped items that you also need to store, whether that's like notebooks or more fabric swatches or interesting tools. I would get these 15-pound command hooks and then find some sort of wire baskets to hook onto those. That'll give you some really good weight hold no matter what is in those baskets. Now, this is not sponsored, but Command does have so many incredible products. There's other display ledges, you can have hooks, you can hang a basket on a hook. So sort of get creative and just make sure you're sticking to their weight maximums. Now she currently has her mood boards up and I don't want her to lose those, but I do think that we could kind of move them out of the sight line and add them to that little nook wall to the right. I know that wall's actually very narrow, so you might have to cut your mood boards in half to do this, but it's still a nice way to have them there for reference. Now, I think we've added a fair amount of functional storage to the space, but we do still need to make this place a moment visually, and I did get a sneak peek of her incredible, gorgeous fabric collection. So for both inspiration, for visual interest, and to make that wall a little bit more of its own moment, I really want you to do kind of a faux wallpaper situation and display your favorite fabric swatches on the wall. You can do this with cork boards and like pin the fabric to cork boards. You could frame the fabric, or you can put it directly onto the wall with liquid starch and you can just peel it off when you're done. In fact, I would encourage you personally to do like a fabric mosaic, like floor to ceiling, and just put all of the incredible fabrics all over your wall. So Jade, I'm very sorry that I came in very under budget, but I'm sure you can come up with some better ways to spend that money. And I hope this has given you some helpful inspiration for how to use this space the way you want to. Moving on. Now we have Molly. Molly has one of the common and also most challenging issues that we all have. What do I do with that one blank wall? This is often a frustrating challenge when you either have kind of a weird wall or a wall where like you've designed everything else around it and now it's just kind of sitting there and you don't know what to do. In Molly's case, she has this one boring gray wall in her living room. It looks out onto her neighbor's like rusty RV, so she put up some rainbow privacy film, which I think is a great hack. It's where her heater's living, but it's just kind of blah and cold feeling. She has an eclectic style, she likes bold luxe colors, and so she did paint this beautiful blue accent wall right next to it. But in comparison to that, this wall just feels blah and boring. She wants to spice it up, but she says she's not the most hardcore DIYer. She wants to do something simple and easy under $300. Now, there are some obvious things we could do. We could turn this into a gallery wall, but I know she has a lot of other art around her space. We could wallpaper it, but she already did that beautiful blue accent wall, and I want to let it be the star it deserves to be. Still, we want to make this wall a moment, and something that stood out to me on this wall was the heater. It's a functional item, she uses it, but it's kind of small for scale and it's just kind of hanging there. So I thought, what if we could add some little cozy vibes? What if we could make it a little bit of a focal point by building the illusion of a faux fireplace? What? So I'm gonna start with this peel and stick faux Moroccan tile wallpaper. We're basically gonna build it out larger so that it feels more grand. And honestly, this can be any tile wallpaper pattern she wants. She could also do this with a faux textured brick or actual faux 3D tile. If you're gonna do that, use command strips to put it to the wall. Don't use the actual adhesive because it's not meant to go on drywall. I chose this wallpaper because it's a slight pop of pattern and I think it adds a subtle but fun pattern to the room. Now I'm also recommending faux wallpaper because she does have a baseboard and so she can bring the wallpaper down onto that to kind of fudge it. Now I still want to add a little dimension and kind of the illusion of scale to the existing heater. So I would then paint in the shape of an alcove. Personally, I love an arch, I think it works well. She could also do a square to mimic the exact heater shape. This would help frame the fireplace and give it more dimension. Now, to build out this illusion more, if we just have the heater sitting on the carpet alone, it looks kind of blah. So I'm gonna send her to the hardware store to get a piece of plywood and cut it to the exact dimensions of the fireplace surround. The guys at the hardware store will cut it down exactly for you. Then she can wallpaper that bottom part too and stand the heater on top of it. This sort of adds to the illusion of there being a like fireplace surround right there. Now, one shame is that she can't currently put things on top of the heater because it's too hot. But I still want her to have a kind of mantle of some sort. So above the top, I'm gonna have her install a floating shelf. You can hire a TaskRabbit to do this. It's where most of your budget's gonna go. But if we do that, we get a faux mantle on top and she can style it with books and plants and candles. And if she still wants more impact, she could add some mirrors on both sides or frames. But I think this is a very fun, unexpected way to add a visual element to the room without overpowering everything else. And lastly, we have my girl, Katella. Please tell me I'm saying that right. I love you so much. She is dealing with one of the most common types of design drama, a problematic bathroom. Or in her words, it feels tiny and cramped and I low-key wanna die when I'm in here. Now, she is a color-loving maximalist. Her home has a range of styles. She has bold, tropical, pastel maximalism. She has art deco, but she also kind of wanted to go moody in here, and she also described herself as, quote, a low-key spooky hoe. She has a couple $100 and some good DIY skills to throw at the problem, so she wants to know what the hell she should do. I got you, girl. So we are dealing with such a common space, right? Tiny, cramped, some things you can change, some things you can't. You gotta work within your limitations. And knowing that her house has so many different styles, I wanted to give myself the challenge of bringing them all together in this bathroom. But how do you combine pastels, art deco, maximalism, and a low-key spookiness into one bathroom? The answer is to turn it into a dark deco jungle. Oh my God, I'm so excited. First things first, we're gonna get moody as hell. I'm gonna paint the whole thing green, including the ceiling, if you dare. General wisdom says when you're painting a room a color to go 20% lighter on the ceiling, or you can just leave it white. That green is gonna bring out the wood in your vanity and your medicine cabinet in a really beautiful way, so we don't actually need to do much to those. But we do have this big white cabinet that is now kind of an eyesore. I know you said you weren't sure if you could swap it out or not. In a dream world, I would have you take that cabinet off and swap it with a hanging gold open shelving unit. So if you can't, I'm gonna suggest something shocking. Take the doors off permanently and paint the whole base the same green color. This is gonna give us the feeling of like a faux built-in, and open shelving can help you breathe a little bit. And if your landlord is not down for you painting the cabinet, contact paper it and then paint that. Next, we have to swap out that 80s vanity light for a beautiful Art Deco inspired light. Now your side wall is pretty empty, and so I do want to do a little accent wall. And in a dream world, I would actually wallpaper your entire bathroom in this, but it is kind of pricey. But when I tell you, what I'm about to show you is the most incredible wallpaper I have ever seen in my life. Are you ready? This incredible, gorgeous Art Deco inspired wallpaper looks stunning from afar. We have beautiful greens, we have a splash of pink pastel in there. But when you look up close, you will see that this wallpaper pattern is actually flowers and bats. I'm sorry, I genuinely do need a moment because I saw this wallpaper and I considered ordering it, tearing down my entire house, and redoing it all around this wallpaper print. Guys, it's frickin' bats. And for a low-key spooky girl, I think anyone who sees this wallpaper will die on sight. Now, since we have the moody green and we have this incredible wallpaper, we do still want to lighten things up a little bit, add a little bit more of that pastel fun and pizzazz. So I'm going to add a pink and white checkerboard floor. This floor is very 80s Art Deco Miami. These are stickers that you actually put over your existing tile or laminate. You could even potentially do them in a diamond shape instead to give it a little bit more fun and more like Art Deco glam. And I think it perfectly plays with the pink in the wallpaper. So it's very like I'm dark, but also Glinda the Good Witch. Now, because we did make this room dark and moody, we want to add in some pizzazz by bringing in a lot of gold accents. So I'm gonna add these gorgeous fan pulls to the cabinet. I mean, honestly, if you put those on any piece of furniture, like we're done, okay? And I know you were open to swapping out your medicine cabinet mirror, but if the mirror itself is a door, super pain to replace. So I would say just either spray paint or contact paper gold your whole frame. It already has that arch in it, which plays nicely with the round fan handles and the curves in the wallpaper. So I think you're literally golden. I'm also gonna add in a gold striped shower curtain for more fun and pattern. And you're gonna go nuts with styling on those open shelves with some gold baskets, faux plants, and more accent pieces to really add the green jungle vibe effect. And that is my prescription for your design drama. Wake up, we're saying goodbye. So I hope Jade, Molly, and Katella found these ideas helpful. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted. I'm so sorry I can't get everybody's. We'll do more design dramas in the future. I hope you guys get some inspiration for things you can do at home. And if you want to be helpful to me, you can like, you can subscribe, you can tell a friend, or you can buy me that wallpaper. Please, 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 please. Bye.